Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Okay. How are you all? I'd like to welcome you and to thank you for coming here in this very, very tough week and very tough time. What we will do actually here, that we have invited AshrafSeminar1. He is one of our senior standing students in the computer engineering department, and he took his co-op in advanced electronics company in the engineering and development department. He did excellent in his co-op, really, and therefore the department and also the computer science engineering club, they invited him to come here, to come to you and to present for you what he did during his co-op, what are the projects that he did, and also how his studying at the computer engineering department was somehow related to what he did in his co-op. So please, let's all welcome Ashraf and thank you very much.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is AshrafSeminar1, and I will make a presentation about my co-op experience in advanced electronics company. I know this is a tough period for you all and for me as well, but I'll try my best to make this as interesting as possible for you and to learn and to get benefit from. The seminar is entitled What a Computer Engineer Does. The outline of the presentation will be as follows. The introduction, I will introduce my presentation with the areas of computer engineering. That's just in the case if you don't know anything about computer engineering. And then I will talk about the role of the Department of Computer Engineering towards the COE students. And then I will give some details, or I will give details about the co-op experience, covering the training place, the major tasks and the major projects I have been assigned with at Advanced Electronics Company. And then I will conclude my presentation with a relation to what I've done in Advanced Electronics Company, with what I have learned in computer engineering department here in KFB. Well, as an introduction, computer engineering curriculum emphasizes the following areas: digital system, architecture design, microprocessors, integrated circuit technology, communication theory, computer networks, computer programming, and computer security. Now I want you to store this slide in your random access memory just for the end, till the end of the seminar, because I will refer back to it at the end, and you will know the connection at the end of the presentation. Now moving on to the department role towards the computer engineering students. We computer engineering students have at least 3 projects each semester. Maybe sometimes it gets to 5, 4, but that is the average number of projects for each semester. That is, of course, unofficial statistics, but my colleagues and I can guarantee that the average number can be 3 projects each semester. This average number of 3 projects each semester will force you to have hands-on experience, because you're working on projects. You need to work on projects to get the grades. And this will enhance your experience towards the topics of the projects, of course. Therefore, this will develop the necessary skills to make you an analyzer, designer, and a developer of computer systems, and hence make you prepared for the job market, the actual problems. So in short, the Department of Computer Engineering will make you a full-time problem solver, a natural problem solver. Well, moving on to my co-op experience, I will talk about some brief points about the co-op company. It is called Advanced Electronics Company, as you know, as you read on the poster, and it was established in 1988. It is a Saudi private sector company, and it is fulfilling an objective of the Saudi Arabian government, it is under the, it is one of the companies of the economic offset program that, that has an objective to cover the need of Saudi Arabia in covering the need of technological systems and services without relying on the Western countries to make those services for us. And it is considered the high-tech leader in Saudi Arabia. It has 3 main business units, and all the other departments of advanced electronics company support the 3 business units, which are the military systems business unit, the industrial systems business unit, and the telecommunications business unit. Well, as for the department, I was part of the engineering and development department, and it is considered the strongest department in terms of supporting all of the 3 business units of the company. It was previously called the Research and Development (R&D), but it's now focusing on making projects with commercial off-the-shelf products. So they are somehow excluding the research portion of their projects. And the Engineering and Development Department is divided into 4 main teams: the engineering team, hardware development team, software development team, and mechanical development and technical services team. I was part of the engineering team. It has design functions, development functions, and consultancy to other teams, of course, because it's the projects start from there, usually from the engineering team, and then it goes to the hardware and software development until it ends. Well, I'm going to talk about some major tasks I have been assigned with at Advanced Electronics Company. The list includes TCP/IP client-server application, integrating between TCP/IP socket and serial port, symbol encryption-decryption scheme, GPS communication application, streaming a webcam video over TCP, streaming a webcam video over UDP, controlling GPS and webcam remotely, and finally integrating Android with a controller. I will try my best to make this task interesting for you and simple for you to understand. The first task is developing a TCP/IP client-server application. The task involves 2 different applications, the client and the server, where the client can send and receive data, text data from the server. This acts like TCP chat. The server has a TCP connection log, where it shows the 3-way handshake happening to each connecting client, and you can send and receive to multiple clients at the same time from the server. It has a start and stop button. You can send private messages to whatever client, and you can kick out one of the connected clients to the server. It involves multi-threaded programming, and it's basically a client-server application. Of course, each client has a username. The second task is integrating between TCP/IP socket and serial port. This can be explained easily if you imagine 3 computer systems. One considered as a server, one as a collector, and one as an end user. The end user is using a handheld computer system. This handheld device, we wanted to connect to the collector through serial port. The serial port uses an interface called RS-232. That is an old interface, but it is still widely used in the embedded systems today. And we want this handheld device to connect to the client or to the collector through serial port, and this collector will send the serial data to the server through TCP socket. And then you can, vice versa of course, you can send TCP data to the collector, and the collector will send it through serial port to the handheld device. Of course, you can use a program like a Microsoft Hyperterminal on a PC, on the handheld device, so that you can interact with the serial port to send serial data. The third task is developing a simple encryption-decryption scheme over serial communication. This is just to get the flavor of how to develop a security scheme. This was done by XORing the ASCII value of each character that is going through the serial port. The RS-232, of course. So, I used a communication module called Telet GSM communication module. It was manufactured by Telet, which is an Italian manufacturer. Whatever is sent through the serial port will be encrypted, and then you can see the encrypted message here. This is a 300-byte message, and this is the encryption. This is the message after the encryption. Hope this is clear for you now. So you can encrypt the message from the sender to the link between the sender and receiver, and then you can decrypt the encrypted message to get it back to its original form. So that was the third task. Task number 4 is developing a GPS communication application and getting the data from the GPS receiver. I use the GPS receiver, which connects to the satellite to get the GPS information that involves time, longitude, latitude of the location of the GPS receiver itself. So the objective of this task was to develop a GPS communication program that gets the data from the GPS receiver and sends the data to the TCP to a TCP server. Not all the data, of course, because the GPS receiver gets all the data from the satellite. We don't need all of the data, and it could be a lot of sentences. The sentence is the sentence itself in the GPS receiver includes what's called snippets of data, okay? So that you can filter whatever you want from these snippets, and then you can use it to fulfill the purpose of your application. So the purpose of my application was to get the longitude and latitude of the GPS receiver and send it through TCP to a listening socket to the server side. So we have two entities in this application. Task number 5 is to stream a webcam video over TCP using a secure private radio. This radio is called HARS, SPR radio. SPR stands for Secure Private Radio. I use 2 of them to communicate between each other, and I use the webcam to capture its video and send its data to the other side, other entities, using data communication used by or performed by the radio itself, the 2 radios. So the radio itself can be allocated to voice only, to data, or to both of them at the same time. There are some sorts of slots. You can allocate the slots to data to get the data connection. that's what I did actually in this task. I allocated all the slots, 8 slots actually, to be data slots, and then I captured the webcam data to send it over radio to the other side. And this was tested by sending, each frame was an RGB. RGB was it stands for red, green, blue. It's a colored frame, and it was tested to send the RGB frames, but it was too slow because we used TCP, and TCP guarantees that each frame should be received at the other side. So I did the same task, but over UDP, because I didn't want to make to receive every frame. The purpose of the application was to get a streaming webcam. So we don't want a slow connection, we want a fast one, and UDP delivers this fast connection. And I used some concepts to reduce the size of each frame, like the region of interest concept, just to get some region of interest of the whole picture, just to reduce the size, and convert it to grayscale, because the radio data connection only supports 250 kilobits per second. So I had to reduce the size to fit the data rate of the radio connection. Task number 7 is controlling GPS and webcam remotely. I used the GPS receiver I used previously, and the webcam I used previously also, and the controller called Orion Minitank. It's like a mini PC for cars. And the thing is, we have 2 entities. You can say client and the server. And we want the client to send a command like GPS on or cam on to the server side, so that the server can get this command and sends the webcam stream or the GPS data you want from the server side to the client side. This was done on a TCP connection. Of course, we used UDP for the webcam streaming, as we did before on the last task, and it was successfully managed. This is the final task I'm going to talk about. This is task number 8. That is to integrate an Android device with a controller. The controller we used on the last slide. So we want to connect between a computer system and an Android device using I used something called Bluetooth serial adapter. This Bluetooth serial adapter gets the serial data from the computer system and converts the data to be transmitted on Bluetooth. So and vice versa, it gets the data from Android via Bluetooth and then converts it to be sent over serial to the computer system we use. The details of these Android snapshots will be provided when I talk about the first project actually. And now I'll be talking about the major projects that I did in